Tracking a threat of storms, and typically we look at the afternoon and evening and thinking the heat of the day and the heat and the humidity would fuel these storms.
Right.
It's not the case today.
No, and it's after 3 in the morning. I mean, so late morning, late night, early morning tomorrow, and depending when you get up, that's something you need to plan for tonight. So going to bed, just have it in the back of your mind that there could be severe weather overnight, even before you wake up, before the sun comes up. So that window 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, damaging straight line wind gusts. That's going to be the biggest threat from this one. Also not ruling out an isolated tornado. Localized flooding also a possibility, but it just all depends on how this complex of storms initiates and how it develops and moves out of Wisconsin into Michigan. I'm going to talk much more about that in more detail in just a moment, but for this afternoon, highs are going to be in the mid 80s, about 84, 85 degrees. We'll cool into the 70s as the sun goes down just before 9 p.m. But a quiet afternoon. The wind's pretty light out of the northeast, just 5 miles per hour today. Tonight's going to be a warm, mild night. The humidity gets higher, especially after midnight, and that's going to lead to the increasing chance of rain. So chance of thunderstorms after midnight. Really, the severe threat will be 3 o'clock in the morning through 9 a.m. Now, the greatest severe threat this evening is going to be across Wisconsin. That's where several tornadoes are expected. It's in the forecast, and some really nasty conditions that will be shaping up later today across Wisconsin. The risk of flash flooding is also greater to the west. Greatest risk area as far as lower Michigan is concerned is around the Kalamazoo to Grand Rapids area and across southwestern Michigan. And there's a sliver we're underneath the marginal category from Ann Arbor into Monroe County, Lenawee, and areas west. So west of US 23, a slightly higher chance of stronger thunderstorms and potentially some localized flooding versus areas, let's say, across the thumb where the risk is going to be a little lower. I'm going to show you two different computer models here because the models really have a tough time figuring out this type of system and the trajectory or how the path is going to plan out. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, at this point, not very organized storms drifting to the south, and then you get a split. And tomorrow morning, it's a chance of some storms farther north, and then the worst of the storms may end up tracking to the south across Indiana and Ohio. Now, that's one scenario. This is another computer model, which is showing a more organized line of storms. Now, if we get the bow, this line of storms, that's when we really need to be concerned. That'll be tomorrow morning, so we'll get a better picture of how this starts to develop in Wisconsin later tonight. But if we get this, that would mean damaging straight line winds that could be enough to knock out power for a lot of people. So tomorrow morning, again, 3 o'clock to about 9 o'clock. The rest of the day looks quieter, and the humidity is going to be getting lower in the evening, high about 82 degrees tomorrow. And so for Tigers games tomorrow and through the weekend, it looks fantastic. And going into the weekend, it's going to be great Friday. 78 degrees, lower humidity, and comfortable. Most of Saturday afternoon will be in the 70s with a high of 80. Chance of rain showers after midnight Saturday night, and then showers off and on Sunday. But it will be cooler this weekend and through the first half of next week with highs in the mid 70s. You're watching 7 Action News at noon. We'll be right back.